YouTube, it's Ron Phillips with another amazing ready to fly helicopter. Look at this beauty. It is gorgeous. It's got a light on the top of the tail and on the nose. Yes, this would normally be an inside flyer, but we have a gorgeous and calm night, and we're gonna see how it does out in the environment. Okay, so we've already bound this thing up. It's a little bit weird. You plug it in, you turn it on, you're not really sure which one to do first. The manual comes in Chinese, sticks down and out, starts the blades up. You don't have to do that. You can just press this button too. Oh, there you go. Okay, so it's gonna fly itself. All right, so a couple things to note. Not doing anything, just walking around saying, that is cool and really pretty. And yes, I do trust these helicopters. I have already hit my finger. And if you watch long enough, you can see when I did it on that thing, no big deal, didn't cut me. I don't think it would if you hit on the main rotor, but I still don't want to test it on my dining table or on the kitchen cabinets. That being said, the only thing we don't like about this is the angle. Also, look at the yaw. It kind of wanders when you yaw, okay? So that's just yaw, okay? So as you can see, is that a cat? There's a cat, okay.
It is.
So coming forward, looks absolutely glorious. So this is a very easy to fly. I'm in the lowest speed. Look at that thing. Looks ultra realistic. Very fun for the kids. Be mindful that it is gonna be a gorgeous looking, easy to fly, and check this out. If it doesn't walk away from you like that, it's got a sensor on the bottom. It's gonna try to help avoid obstacles underneath. So hopefully you don't land in your own hair, which by the way, I've done that. We have girls and they don't like it too much with quads. So that being said, what a beautiful helicopter. It's very easy to fly. It is not gonna do anything 3D wise. I'm in the first speed of 3. Here's second speed. As you can see, it goes a lot faster. I'm gonna go forward this time, do a little bit of a coordinated turn. We'll just let you guys see. And then as soon as you let go, it kind of sort of wonks out until it gets its coordinates about it. We have recalibrated. The calibration procedure is very easy. It is down and to the left on both sticks. And it definitely will go up and it will definitely go down. You have one touch landing. One touch landing is very easy, or you can hold the down stick. You can hold this down. Let's do one touch landing. It lands where it is. It doesn't return to home or anything like that. A little bit of a bounce. Now that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and take back off. I'm gonna take back off. I'm gonna take, oh yeah, that's right, you have to press the button. So 6 down and out is the other option, spins up, and then you can press the up on the stick. So hopefully you guys caught on to that. There is 2 different ways to take off. If you're in a limited height setting, so like if you're taking off and you've got a short ceiling of like 5 feet, then if you press this, it may take off a little bit too far and overshoot into the ceiling. If you down stick like this and then go up like that, you can reduce the height by which you're flying. Let's go fly in the grass a little bit, camera crew. So as you can see, it is a gorgeous little thing. It's very fun, and admittedly, this thing is going to be not fully charged. You're supposed to be able to get 15 minutes of flight time. I believe you will. Let's get right up there. I wanna see if I can cut the grass. Oh, okay, maybe the grass is a little bit stronger than the blades, guys. Oh no, everybody's gonna die. Oh, that looks so sweet. And if you coordinate your turns, it looks even more realistic. That's one thing I love to do on these simple, more basic helicopters. Coordinate your turns, change your elevation as you're flying up and over. So cool. And I love that there's lights underneath. That is so fun. And I'll just fly in between camera crew and I. And then let's go into speed 3 actually. Okay, so this is the fastest speed. And I know some of you guys that are used to flying airplanes are probably thinking, well, why not just trim so that it doesn't wander on you like that? Okay, one thing I've noticed about this helicopter is it doesn't really drift too far, but once it gets going, it kind of continues. Okay, so in this case, I would need to trim forward 1 click, and then of course, it's pretty much sitting still. So this is where it is, and it's not going any further back. So it actually does a pretty good job. I don't think it would do good with wind, not much of it at least. But in speed 3, you can get a little bit of speed, so that's not too bad. And then if you coordinate your turns to keep your helicopter low, you can make it look really cool until you crash. Okay, so now if you ever do crash, one thing to keep in mind, I'm learning that there's not really any good way to stop that, okay? Because even after I hit the ground, which I kind of doubt I sustained any damage, it kept spinning the tail rotor and there was no way to really shut it off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it back down and just see if the thing takes back off. Also, charge times are a little bit questionable because you're sort of using your own charger. Here's takeoff. Okay, let's do a little nature walk here, camera crew. Everything seems to be flying great still. Controls are sort of fly-by suggestion style, because I can definitely say right now, this helicopter, as beautiful as it is definitely not one of the most controllable we've ever had. However, I feel totally comfortable flying this inside, and you will see that later in the Unbox build radio setup. Let's go ahead and fly over the hayfield, narrowly avoiding deadly stalks of grass. That is so cool. And so as you can see, if you're flying over the deadly stalks of grass, the best, most important thing you can do is keep plenty of altitude so you don't lose your helicopter as a result of hitting a singular blade of grass. Watch this. Watch this. Let's see if we can cut one off. Oh, come on, do it. You know you want it. That's what I'm talking about, fly-by suggestion. Yeah, see, it just sort of pushes it out of the way. It's just not aggressive. So the cool thing about it though, is I'm sitting here watching this beautiful view of this helicopter that's just right here. And it's so much fun because it's right in the middle of all this action. And nature watch, we do these nature walks usually when we have quads or little VTOLs or things that you can very easily control. And we just love flying them around in the woods because when you can fly a helicopter in the woods, it's just so much more fun. So that's one of the reasons why we love these little ones, is that you can bring them in here. You don't feel like you're, gonna have to remortgage your house if you have an accident. You don't feel like you're gonna have to spend 6 or 7 hours fixing stuff if something gets run into unexpectedly. But just look how gorgeous that is. And it's so much fun. Let's see if we can fly very dangerously. So much fun, guys. So if you guys haven't ever decided to buy one of these things, you should check it out in the links of the video description below. As you can see, it is just really a dang looker, and it is a really fun one. Now, this is not gonna be a hobby grade flight experience. You're gonna have mostly a toy grade experience here. Do you think we should be okay going over the waterfall, right? You think? I think we can go over the waterfall. Let's see. Okay guys, this is the real deal. We got a little waterfall here. All right, let's see if we can make it. If that light starts flashing, how annoyed would you be? We are directly over the waterfall, folks. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but the water is falling below us. That is so cool. And again, in Speed 3, it's still very tame, very easy to control. And I think it's gonna be a great toy grade experience for kids and for the men and adults in the room that maybe have experience flying helicopters. They're gonna get a kick out of it, but it's definitely not going to replace their favorite 3D helicopter, because you do not get 3D performance out of something like this. Also, should I sacrifice mine to the RC gods and crash into this tree? Let's show you what happens when you crash. We've already hit the grass. Okay, so sticks down, everything is good to go. Let's go ahead and safely pull this up and see if we destroyed it. Okay, first things first. Okay, now I crash mine so you don't have to, guys. Untangle everything. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's kind of hard to hit that button. There it is, guys. She lives to see another day. Absolutely amazing. What a fun choice. In a world of millions of RC toys that don't do what they claim to do, you can blow your dandelions with this. And I don't know that they claimed to be able to do that, but I just did it, and it was awesome. So guys, if you want to help support Brian Phillips RC and you want to get one of these in your own repertoire, get one from the links in the video description below. You will enjoy it. It's super fun. And there's our flashing light. You'll notice on the tail, we have an anti-crash beacon that is flashing now, and we have a front light that's flashing as well. So what you can do is now you can take your time, you can find a nice landing spot, and you can land. Or if you're like me, you can keep flying until the thing crashes. So let's go over to the bridge where I'm certain to crash into something and destroy this wonderful experience. So as you can see with the flashing light, you got lots of time, lots of warning, which is great. The Chinese must have been listening to that complaint we've had about other helicopters. But as you can see, it hasn't started fast flashing. When it starts fast flashing, that's when you have to land, and it will initiate a landing. So let's do one more daring maneuver. Let's fly over. Oh no, we didn't even make it to the daring maneuver. Sticks down all the way. Woo, that was close. Okay, so as you can see, really cool helicopter. Camera crew is gonna hold this. Really cool helicopter, really fun experience. You can stay tuned and watch our unbox build and radio setup. And we're also gonna fly it inside for you so you can see what you have to say about this for yourself. I can definitely tell you that it is a gorgeous helicopter. It looks beautiful. It does everything I expected it to do. However, it's a little bit less refined in its flight performance. Even though it's flying reasonably well, it's tipped a lot. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't know that there's a lot you can do to fix that. But I do think in terms of skill, planes, helicopters, and things like that, I am a sucker for them. And it makes up for a whole world of complaints. Biggest complaint, I don't know how to shut the thing off as I land. I don't like that. I would appreciate being able to have the sticks come to a halt right now when I want. Also, this is about as easy a control as you get. Low rates, mid rates, high rates. Very simple, very basic. If you're getting an XK from years past and you've got all sorts of pitch curves and throttle curves, you're gonna learn a lot more about flying a helicopter, but you're also gonna have to know a lot more about flying a helicopter in order to make it work. Okay, mode 2 is what you want if you're in the United States, because that's the way we fly these things. Mode 1 is opposite or different. Just look it up on Google if you want. This is gonna be your throttle up, throttle down, or in this case, it'd be cyclic collective up, collective down. And then this is gonna be your cyclic control, which leans you forward, leans you back, leans you to the right. I call this pitch control, also known as elevator, ailerons, which would be roll, and then yaw, rudder in airplane world, and then throttle. Of course, this is not throttle because it's also controlling the pitch of the blades on a flybarless control, which is what you have here. But these are not symmetrical blades. They're actually lift blades, and they're quite soft. Even after having crashed into a tree and blades of grass and tangled myself on them, we have no issues, and it flew right away. So in closing, I think it's a good value. Now, is it as good as other helicopters we've seen in the past? You're gonna have to be the judge of that, but I would say that I have seen better flying helicopters that are equally great looking. And so you kind of have to decide, do I want this helicopter? This EC135, also known as a C187 helicopter, or do you want to have something that looks a little bit different? Or do you want to go way back to the XK days when you could get one with a more sophisticated control and actually go through the settings and make changes and potentially come out of the auto leveling and try to flip it and do some 3D action, things like that? I gotta admit, most people are not gonna be doing that in my experience, but the people that want 3D are gonna be horribly dissatisfied by this because you can't even come out of auto leveling.
Right.
So just understanding that, you know what you're gonna get. That's why you watch Brian Phillips RC. Stay tuned. We're gonna go over all the details in the unbox, build, and radio setup, which is pretty much an unbox and fly inside.
Put batteries in.
Because yeah, it didn't take any time at all. But I must say, great little helicopter for what it is. But if you're expecting what it's not, you'll be disappointed, okay? Great helicopter if you're expecting the right thing, which is upper echelon toy experience. You're gonna love it. Beyond that, you're gonna be disappointed. So hopefully we answered your questions, but is that thing not a looker? It is.
It is.
So guys, so much. We thank you for watching. There's so much more coming from Brian Phillips RC, and we hope you'll be here to enjoy it with us. Smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Click the bell for notifications. We have Patreon and PayPal available if you'd like. Also, super thanks. And someday maybe we'll turn on members just in case that isn't enough to tell you about each flight. But I will suggest one thing. If you want to support us, the best thing you can do is buy this or the competitive offering that we have, which are millions of them, on our website. Brian Phillips RC will help you to sort through the plethora. Thousands of videos to choose from, thousands or more products to choose from, and we'll help you guys decide if it's even worth looking at. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned. Unbox next. YouTube, look at this box we got. We're gonna open it right now. We've been waiting for this for a long time, and evidently some other people got it earlier than us. But we wanted it before. It's amazing. What is that? It's a C187 helicopter. And evidently you got this high reflective packaging. Looks a little bit squished. This comes as a ready to fly. Oh yes. Ooh, LED, nice. That is so cool.
Cool.
Altitude control, 15-minute flight time, whatever that thing is. It's a 6-axis gyro, and looks like we just have a shipping thing. So, all right, here goes nothing, guys. Cutting it open. We're gonna get into it right away because this is gonna be fantastic. We did one a while ago, like many years ago.
Like 8 years ago.
Boy, that is really damaged. I hope it's not broke. Okay, well, we'll just set that aside then. Put this right here so you can see what it's supposed to look like. Okay. Oh, this opens up. Ah, yes, I see what you've done here. You put no foam in. All right, guys, so this helicopter comes as a ready to fly. That means it comes with all the stuff you need to fly, including a snack. Just kidding, don't eat it. All right, we have a transmitter, feels very cheap, but it is a good size because this will fit in a kid's hand or an adult hand. Spring-loaded left stick, which means you've got an altitude control, landing, takeoff, speed, 1, 2, 3. They're really dumbing down the controls on these helis these days. Oh boy, but that thing is gorgeous. Little details, these are line cutters, not antennas. They're all A. See, A. Maybe it's Canadian. That's a cheap shot. Okay, so then how do you open the battery thing? Okay, it comes off the front. Oh yeah, that is sweet. Okay, and a singular micro pH. It looks like micro pH probably. And the battery pulls out like that. Ooh, it's a special one. Rechargeable lithium ion battery, 350 milliamp hours, 7.4 volts. So it's 2S. Wowzers. Okay, it's got another battery. Got some spare props right here. Looks like it only comes with 2, what? And then it comes with a spare tail rotor. And pulling out the bottom, what the heck? Well, that explains why the box is crushed, because there just wasn't anything in that side.
Yeah.
So as far as this goes, let's go ahead and close that up and get it out of the way. So obviously with these ready to fly helis, especially the ones that have unique batteries, you sometimes have to keep that in mind when you're making decisions, because you need to order these with the right number of batteries for your application, okay? So let's see what we got for a cable here. Looks like a micro USB and a USB-A. So very basic. So the charge controller is actually built into the battery. So let's go ahead and test this real quick. We usually have an adapter lying around right here. This is just a standard run-of-the-mill, whatever you get. It says 5 volts at 1 amp, so it's actually run-of-the-mill. It's not super fast, it's not super slow. Well, 1 amp anymore is pretty slow. So you plug it in there, no lights obviously on there. And then this plugs into, and there is a singular light on the battery. So, what happens is then you let that charge and everybody is happy when it's charged. Now I have no idea how long this is gonna take, but since this is a 1, 2, 3, 4 wire setup. I'm not sure how the 4 wires are used. If this is only 7.4 volts, that means it's a 2S battery. Oh, I see how this is. This is actually a case that's wrapped around a soft pack LiPo. There's your charge plug, the charge controller, and then if I were to try to open this up, I bet that quality control sticker stops this from opening. So we'll take a second, let this charge, and come right back. Okay, so the other thing we need to do while we wait is we have batteries to put in the transmitter that we provided. They do not come in the package. Sometimes the Chinese systems will come with batteries, but usually not, okay? The only time you're gonna get batteries is if it's domestic. And if it's domestic, that means it was probably made in China and then shipped over anyway. But the thing is, it's really expensive to ship those batteries overseas. Now, we noticed a funny thing and we wanna teach you something. So pull out your phone, go to Google, type the word translate. When you pull up translate, if you have an equipped phone, you can press this little camera button. And this camera button takes a second to load, but it's gonna detect automatically the language. And so then you can actually look at the Chinese manual. See how that's in Chinese? Look at this, watch this. User manual.
Oh, helpful.
Pretty amazing, okay? This is where it tells you how many packs of lunch to bring, okay? Before operation, please read the serious damage to common sense and operation, the basis failure to blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's about how much I listen. Ooh, look at this guy. He's, oh, is he trying to light his farts?
Bathroom?
Always charge batteries from, oh, that's actually in English. So we're gonna see what this says. The charger attached to the C could charge battery safely, but it recommends the use of US charger and other, okay, so on and so forth. The reason we show you that is because, first of all, it's awesome. And second of all, I actually learned that by accident once, and it's amazing. And it's really helpful because this manual is in Chinese.
All in Chinese.
So if you use the manual, you will see that it explains things all the way through the entire thing.
They typoed their company name.
They didn't even spell their name right. That is awesome and not unusual in the Chinese realm. So anyway, we've got some spare props. Again, only 2 of the 4 rotors are available in this replacement. That is pretty crappy. However, they're swung arms like that. So if you do smack into something, there's a good chance it's not gonna completely destroy it immediately. And this is, I don't think it's collective pitch. I think it's just up and down. Okay, so let's talk about this transmitter real quick. Turning it on. These buttons may or may not be trim, may or may not be trim, may or may not be trim, may or may not be trim. Can't hear any activities. This has to do with rates, takeoff and landing. It operates in 2.4 gigahertz. I do not know the protocol by which it's speaking. So that's that. Also, I wanted to mention that I charged one of the batteries on our charger, which is just basically a USB plug that plugs in down there. And we used the other one with the provided cable. So really all you need is a USB-A to USB micro and a charger adapter, a wall outlet, whatever you want to use. You don't have to use that. You can use your computer. You can probably charge it from your cell phone if you have the right adapter. But the idea is you're going to have to at least be over the, I think they want 5 volts at about 1 amp. So anyway, the charge might take a few minutes. So in our case, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and break this one off of the charger just to demonstrate how the Heli works. And we're going to show you guys if it's worth anything. Now, the last Heli we did that was kind of cheap and inexpensive and basic like this turned out to be a big hit. People really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it a lot. I am a sucker for scale helis, okay? We also do non-scale helis too. Now, how do you turn this on? Is there an on button? I can't tell. There's the sensor that points down.
Is that a button?
That's an on button.
Okay.
I think so. Okay, so this thing goes on here. There's 3 points that catch and they latch, but they are delicate, so you want to be kind of careful when you're doing that. And make sure that your battery is in there the correct direction. That did not latch in there very good. This is very delicate. I don't like that, but I want to see what I'm doing wrong, if I am doing anything wrong. Okay. So when you get these inexpensive, ready-to-fly helis, sometimes they're really light duty, and other times they're not quite so light duty. This one is definitely light duty. It's not closing all the way. I almost feel like that means that I have the wire in a bad spot, or the LED lead is screwed up, or something's wrong. Like maybe, oh, the battery was in backward, folks. If you put the battery in, the leads go up. That was not expected. Okay, now everything is ready to go. You want to get those spread out. And I'm going to press this button. Now the light's flashing on nose and tail. I turn this transmitter on, and you can see the lights are flashing. So I'm going to go down and then up, and then down and then up. Nothing has sprung to life. Ah, now it has. Okay, cool. So I'm going to press take off. Okay. Well, that's pretty awesome. Wow. And it's pretty solid. It's not perfect, but it's pretty dang good given the fact that I haven't really done anything to it. I love that it's got the nose light, and I love it's got the tail light. It feels a little bit out of balance. We are in dead calm here. The camera crew is very trusting of this. I just want to see what happens when I grab it. Enrique style. You can feel it's resisting the movement this direction and that, so you've got a very locked in gyro on the tail because this is the position I grabbed it from. And when I let go, it's gonna try to get itself back into that position. In fact, that is pretty good. Now let's see if the trim works. It's kind of moving hardly at all, actually. So move to the right, move to the right. Let's see if it really doesn't need any trim.
Yeah,
this is cool. This is really good because honestly, the only thing I don't like is it's sitting at quite a substantial angle. Woo! It did not cut me, just so you guys can see. If I would have done that with the M4, it would have chopped my hand off. So if you guys have never flown helicopters much, that moved a lot. So I just used the yaw control, which is on the throttle, and it moved way over there, really, really bad. But as you can see here, you see how it kind of wanders around? I'm barely moving the stick, and when I let go, look what it's doing. It's drifting back over. So I'm gonna give it 3 clicks of trim this way, as though I were moving the stick that way. And there it is. When I let go of the stick, look at it, overshoot and correct.
Yeah.
It tries to go up. It's not quite getting the job done. So let's see if we can turn the helicopter. Normally when you turn a helicopter, it's a very clean turn. So there's definitely some things that are kind of a little bit goofed up. I wonder if we can program or reprogram level. A lot of times on these helis, if you take off or land and you hold the sticks in and out, ooh, look at that. See, it's trying to get away from me. I am controlling the sticks together, guys. Look at this. 2 sticks opposite each other just to kind of bring it where I want it. And as you can see, I love the yellow. It looks cool, but it also means you can see the tips of the blades. Oh, so we have lights flashing. That means it's probably going to try to land right away. Let's see if we can. I'm thinking, is it going home?
Are you doing that?
I'm not, it's just drifting.
Okay.
It's just drifting. Okay, so I'm gonna try to put it here and then press the landing button. I held down the stick and I'm sure it will stop. Okay, so it does like usual. The flashing lights is no doubt an indicator that the battery is low. Now keep in mind, we did not charge it fully, admittedly.
Nope.
And also I wanna see if there's a way to program this to relearn the home position. I'm just doing, whoop, there we go. So down and out, brings it up to idle, and then take off, takes off. Whoa, a little bit too much height there, almost hit our light. Also, I am not nervous about this thing damaging anything except for maybe the wood cabinets. And I am kind of having to ride the sticks.
It definitely seems like it's like leaning to the right.
A lot. Okay,
Like the
holding
whole
down
thing.
on the stick, and it's come down on its skids. And I mean, other than being an absolutely gorgeous looker, I want to figure out how to bring this thing so that it's level. Let's see if we can look into the Chinese manual a little bit here. So I'm going to just pull that out and see if it shows any symbols that indicate what to do with the sticks for any reason, and then we'll read that section. Now your manual might be in English. I don't know if we got an early one or what. Okay, here's some information. That's just telling you how to fly. This is telling you how to rotate. So really what they're suggesting is this is take off or go higher and go lower. This is yaw, meaning turn flat, turn flat, turn flat, so left and right, and that controls the nose. So if you want the nose to point to the left, you would move the stick to the left. If you want the nose to point to the right, you would move the stick to the right. And camera crew is gonna come over here so we can see that together, okay? Then this, if you move this forward, then it's gonna actually lean forward. If you move backward, it's gonna move and lean backward. If you lean to that side, it's gonna go to that side. If you lean to this side, it's gonna lean to that side. So all those things seem pretty standard, but this is power, that's up, down. Ooh, look, sticks down and out. I think that's what I did to start. Okay, and then I'm gonna try just going up this time. See, it jumps up to a certain height and it's using the optical sensor on the bottom to indicate where it is. But really this thing is just sort of sloppy at doing it. Like sloppier than what we've seen from other helis. And I don't know if there's a way to recalibrate. That's what I really wanna do because I feel like it's right on the cusp of being great. Okay, all the way down, holding the stick down, eventually it shuts off. And the other thing I could check, I suppose, is if there's something maybe bent, broken, or disconnected here on the cyclic. I don't see anything disconnected. I'm just kind of looking inside here. There's ball links that go up to each of these blades. I don't see anything there. This, of course, would be a fly barless configuration. And so as a result, everything that's happening is happening just below the surface. You can't quite see what you need to see. If there was maybe a servo that was sticking down there, we'd potentially be able to see. Like for instance, if it was rubbing on the side of this body. I don't see that though. So we're gonna keep going through the manual a little bit further. This is the page you were on. Okay, I don't have a hat on backward. I didn't add any extra length to my antenna. Okay, so this is...
I wonder what that one is for.
Yeah, I wonder what that is too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up the Google Translate again. And so translate, okay, so we load translate, watch the camera eventually comes up, and then we can go ahead and see what this says. Please note when correcting aircraft yaw, keep height more than 1 meter. Ha! So they already know it sucks. Receiver corresponding socket. So this is what it looks like on the receiver. Left servo, backup channel, front LED, tail motor, main rotor. Okay, backup channel. All right, so what's this say? Gyroscope calibration. When the flight is yaw, you can land the aircraft first to calibrate the gyroscope. When calibrating the gyroscope, the aircraft needs to be placed on level ground without deflection. The indicator light flashes quickly during calibration, and the indicator light is always on when the calibration is complete. So you go down to the left. Okay, so let's try that again. We're on the ground flat. And yes, the blades do actually hit that in certain spots. Okay, now it's hypothetically calibrated. Okay, take off. Let's see what happens. Well, that's a little bit better. It's definitely not moving. I gotta say, guys, what's cool about these helicopters, and this is nothing that we haven't seen before, but it's relatively recent, that we have helicopters like this that are intelligent enough to see obstructions underneath and help avoid them, which is crazy. And also, you'll notice it went up, right? So let's lower it down a little bit and let's just try that, test my theory. Okay, now I'm gonna be careful. I don't wanna get bit again. That is pretty cool. And look, it's gonna come back to where it was. So now that it missed the counter, is it gonna fall down? I don't think so. But if the counter snuck up on it, it would move. Isn't that just so cool? And then yaw is really where they're concerned. Do you wanna know why yaw allows this thing to fall? First of all, because it's a very inexpensive flight controller. Okay, so that's an automatic landing. I had no control over it, and you can tell from the fast flash. that it's actually hitting a low voltage warning, okay? So that low voltage cutoff gives plenty of time to actually land at a gentle pace, which is unusual. Usually on these cheap helis, what we see is they fall to the ground really hard. Also, I must say, this is a really cool detail back here. I love that they did that detail of the ducted fan, which it would be in real life, but I think it's actually undermining the helicopter's ability to actually work well because all this cool fan stuff back here is actually allowing for a lot of turbulence that shouldn't exist, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and pull out this battery. Obviously, we did not charge the battery enough. That would be generally a bad idea. Feel that battery. No, top and bottom. It is warm. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are gonna go ahead and start charging right away. Generally, you wanna let these cool down some, but the fastest time to charge a battery is when it's still warm. You just don't wanna do it when it's hot. If it's hot, like dangerously hot, you need to let it cool. But when the lipochemistry is warmed up, that's when it's actually willing to receive the load quicker, okay? So here we go. We've got another one that was just plugged into this thing down here. I don't even know how long we've got on this charge time, but I'm curious, our wind has calmed down somewhat. Do you want to see if it'll even go outside?
We could try it.
I think we should try it. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and pop this in here and we're just gonna try this again, like we normally do. And remember guys, if I didn't make that clear, you can put this in upside down and it will not make contact, but this needs to go up. Those pins and the label need to point up like this. And there's a receiver back here that it plugs into. Okay, and then we're just gonna go. It's actually pretty easy to put that nose on. Sometimes they're a pain in the neck, okay? So now it's on, and I think what we're gonna do is we will meet you guys outside. All right guys, the camera crew mentioned and reminded me that we're gonna show the flight first. And so if you guys wanna help support Brian Phillips RC and the things that we do to help bring you guys all the latest and greatest in RC tech and help setting it up, you can smash the like button, you can subscribe, you can click the bell for notifications and choose all. That'll help you guys see what's coming if you aren't a part of our little club here. And then secondly, you can buy these amazing products when they do come out and they're worthy of buying. I must say, this is maybe not the best flying helicopter we've ever seen, but it is very easy to fly. So if you want a beautiful scale helicopter, which I'm gonna say this right now, scale looks make up for a lot in my book. I love looking at scale aircraft. I don't care if it's an airplane or a helicopter or something else. As long as it looks very realistic as it's flying, I will let them get away with all sorts of other interpretations, like what they've done with this tail rotor, okay? It was a good job hiding it, although the yellow paint on this one, I actually don't wanna see. This one I do, because that helps keep me out of it. This one I kinda wanna pretend like it doesn't exist. Clear would be cool. And yes, they do actually make clear blades for those on some of the quads. I wonder if we could find one that's got the right shaft size so we could put it on there. So anyway, I guess the point is, what we wanna do is we wanna share this with you and just say there's been a lot of helis that we've reviewed over the years that are very small, sort of almost in the throwaway echelon. And this one's somewhere in the middle between the throwaway echelon. You know, you get it, you play with the kids at Christmas for a couple of days and then something goes wrong with them and they're garbage. This would be somewhere in the middle, definitely toy grade, definitely fun, definitely gorgeous. And the thing I like about these ones is watch what you can do. You can fly this into your office. You can fly this into your office and you can land it right next to its best friends right there. And you can say, what another gorgeous helicopter to go with the other helicopters. But I gotta say, we've done enough helicopters over the years that we have seen some that really are very good, some that are not so good, some that are downright terrible, and then others that are amazing and will do things that you shouldn't be able to do. And we've reviewed them all here on Brian Phillips RC. That is not to operate under the assumption that they all cost the same amount, but cost does not necessarily dictate that it's amazing. And that's also something we've learned. So what you wanna do is check out a video before you go spend big coin on one of these toys or one of those hobby grade helicopters or something like it, okay? Because if you're gonna drop, you know, 4 figures on a helicopter, you want to at least know it's going to work. And you want to know if you're going to have enough skill to get it done, okay? This thing, just about anybody could take this off and fly it in their living room. Now, we're going to also show you if it flies outside. You've probably already seen that at this point in the video, but you will already be equipped to make a great decision, and your great decision will be well advised because of short clips like this from Brian Phillips RC. We appreciate you guys watching. We have so much more for you. If you want to support us with PayPal, Patreon, we have links down below, but really the best way to support us is to buy these helicopters, quads, airplanes, whatever it is that we're reviewing at the time, from the links to the video description below. We do make small commissions from the manufacturers, hobby shops, mom and pop shops, and then large corporations and all these different companies that we work with. When you guys buy from the link, they know that we helped you guys to decide you wanted to buy this, or helped you to decide that this is the one you wanted versus the other one. And then they want to work with us more, which is great. So it's a win-win-win for everybody. You end up with a product that you're prepared to receive as it's expected, rather than like, hey, I saw this picture and I assumed it would fly upside down. Well, this doesn't fly upside down unless you crash it. It'll fly upside down on the way to crashing. But you can't even flip this thing upside down, okay? So this is gonna be just strictly for fun scale flying, and it's got auto leveling all the time. It's very easy to fly and it's fun. But I have noticed that weird tip. I don't like that. It kind of takes away a lot from the helicopter. But beautiful, gorgeous scale lines, little rivets, little details, just a really pretty design. However, when it went up against its old brother, I felt like old brother looked a little prettier. And that's something you have to keep in mind, is that over time, you will see many helicopters that look just like this. And in 6 months, there'll be another brand that looks just like this. And then another 6 months, you'll see another one that looks just like this. But guess what? The second one's gonna suck. The third one's gonna be awesome. The fourth one's gonna be terrible. The fifth one's gonna be better than all of them together, or opposite. And that's what you never know when you get these things from China. So the best way to know is to watch somebody like us that you can trust doing a review. And no, we're not gonna tell you it's the cheapest, fastest, best, bluest, grayest, whateverest. That's not what we do here. We just show you the way it works. We tell you if we like it, not that it matters if we like it or not. It matters if you like it. So if you do like it, buy from the link. You'll help support Brian Phillips RC and what we do. And also, if you wanna find more products, if you like this, but you're like, hey, I wanna see that one, fine, that's cool. Go to Brian Phillips RC. You can sort by category, you can sort by brand, you can sort by distributor, whatever you want to do, and then you can find the video, make a decision, and then if you like it, go ahead and buy it from the links. Or if you know for sure you want it, but you just didn't see the right one, you can find it over at brianphillipsrc.com. It'll be very easy. That's our domain. And if you see a short link that says bprc.me, that's our short domain, so it is legitimate, and that just helps us to track so the manufacturers know to pay us, basically. All right, if you guys didn't know how that worked, that's how that works. We love doing this stuff. I love helicopters, I love airplanes, and we love doing these reviews. We have literally done thousands of them, and we have hundreds, if not thousands, of aircraft in this very dwelling that have helped us to shape our opinions of what's good and what's not. And so you don't have to spend $50 or $60 or $70 or $100,000 on little toys to figure out what's good. We'll help you decide. Anyway, I think this one's pretty good. It's probably somewhere in the mid-range. It's definitely not a toy. It's definitely not hobby grade. It's a strong toy grade, lower hobby grade, somewhere in there. And because I don't know the protocol, we can't go into like an open TX transmitter and quickly switch over. Now, that doesn't mean somebody hasn't figured it out. That's what another great thing about YouTube is, you can see if somebody else has figured out that trick you'd like. But I can definitely tell you, I was a little annoyed that the manual was in Chinese. So thank God for Google, so we can translate it. So anyway, guys, hopefully we answered all your questions, and you'll know with confidence that this is cool enough to buy, and it's not just gonna be a paperweight, because if it's a paperweight, it's kind of light. But we hope you guys enjoyed it, and we know you'll come back. Thanks for watching, guys.